So I'm making some changes in the example. Right. Still, people are yet to join. Very few people are present. So, friends, after the class, we will have a quick meeting on couple of issues. 3 points I need to talk to you. 3 important points. So I want you people to stay back after the class for another 5 to 10 minutes. Right. So meanwhile, only 90 people have joined, and some people are in the lobby. Right. I think I'm audible, and my screen is also shared. I think screen is visible. Right. So can anyone please respond? I'm audible. So friends, today we will be discussing same candidate elimination algorithm with a different example, with a different with change in the values of our enjoying water sport example only we will take with a different set of values, right? So we will try to see like how many different hypotheses can be generated, right? And already we have seen two examples on candidate elimination algorithm, right? Again we will see another possible, like we wanted to see how multiple solutions or multiple hypotheses can be generated, right? Then we will discuss one important word called as convergence. This is a very important word called as convergence, right? So what is convergence, that we will see after this example, right? So let me show you the example, right? So nobody is responding. I think I'm audible, right? Yeah, fine. So now let us observe this example carefully, friends. Same, enjoying water sport is the dependent variable, and it depends on these 6 parameters called as sky, air temperature, humidity, wind, water forecast. Now I am applying candidate elimination algorithm. You know very well how do we perform this. What we say? How do we implement this algorithm? So, friends, first what we have to do is we have to create. We have to take two sets. One is called as S1. Another one is called as G1. Right? S1 means S means most specific hypothesis. S means most specific hypothesis. S is most specific hypothesis. G is most generic hypothesis. G is most generic hypothesis, right? So we are trying to identify the all possible hypothesis for this particular problem, right? So what I should do? What is the first step in the candidate elimination algorithm? We have to initialize our S and G. So in the step 1, I call it as S1 and G1, right? Now initially, most specific hypothesis will be initialized with pi, means null values, right? So where is the symbol for null? This is the symbol. Right, so my S1 is initially filled with all null values. See here friends, G1 should be filled with all question marks. Question marks means most generic. Question mark means anything is allowed in that particular place. 6 parameters we have. G1 is a most generic hypothesis which says anything is allowed. Right, anything is allowed so that the outcome is positive and my friend can enjoy water sport. So question mark means anything is allowed, and S means null value means nothing is allowed. So initially we will go with most specific hypothesis as null values, and most generic hypothesis is filled with question marks. Right? So now friends, what is the difference in find yes algorithm and candidate elimination? If you remember, in find yes algorithm, we will consider only positive examples, and in candidate elimination, we will consider both positive and negative examples also. Means where the outcome is true, outcome is yes. Where the outcome is 1, it is called as positive example. Like this fellow will go for enjoying water sport. Yes, it is positive example. No means negative example. So in candidate elimination, we will consider both positive examples and negative examples. Now I'll start from record number 1. My first record is a positive example. Whenever I find positive example, my most specific hypothesis will be updated. How it will be updated, we will see. So what is the initial value of S1? All are null values. Now I am updating it, so I'll write it as S2. Right. Now what are the when I look at first record, what is the outcome? It's a positive example, so I should update my yes. Now what I will do, I'll replace all null values with the attribute values of my first record. Normal, comma, strong, comma, warm, comma, same. Friends, even though it is a third example, I'm trying to repeat it from the beginning so that if at all, if any one of you have not attended, still they can understand. So this is what is the latest updated value of my most specific hypothesis, which is represented now with S2. Done, completed. Now I will go to next record, second record. If you observe second record is also a positive example. Second record is also a positive example. Now what should I do? Whenever it is a positive example, I am going to update my yes, most specific hypothesis. So what is my latest yes? S2. So this will be updated. So it should become S3. Now what will come in S3? That is important. Please observe this carefully. In the second record, what is the first parameter value? Sunny. What is the value in S2? Sunny. Both are same. So write it as it is. Both are same. Write it as it is. Now, what is the second parameter value in second record? Warm. What is the value here? Warm in S2, warm. Both are same. Write it as it is. What is the third attribute value? High. But what is the third attribute value in my most specific hypothesis? Normal. What do you mean by this? It's a mismatch. It's a mismatch means if it is normal or high, in any case the outcome is same. Outcome is yes only. So if there is a mismatch, I will replace it with question mark. Now I'll go to fourth parameter value, strong. What is fourth parameter value in my most specific hypothesis? Strong. So I'll write it as it is, strong. Then what is fifth parameter value? Warm. What is fifth parameter value in S2? Warm. Same. So warm as it is, I'll write. Now see here. What is the sixth parameter value? Change. Forecast is changing, so change. But what is the value here in my most specific hypothesis? Same. Means there is a mismatch. When there is a mismatch, I'll write question mark. So friends, this is my latest most specific hypothesis. So initially this was my most specific hypothesis. When I visited my first record whose outcome was positive, my most specific hypothesis became like this, yes2. Again I went to second record was also a positive example, so again my most specific hypothesis got affected, and right now my most specific hypothesis is yes3. Right now my most specific hypothesis is yes3. Got the point? Friends, you are following? Please let me know. Please let me know you are following. Yes, my dear friends, I would like to know your feedback. You are following this example or not? Please type in the chat box. Right? You are following this one? Fine, fine. Right. So first record I have observed, it was a positive example. Second record I have observed, it was also a positive example. Third record I need to observe now. In third record, if you observe, friends, in third record the outcome is negative. See here, I am highlighting it. Third record outcome is negative. Third record outcome is negative. Let me note this point. Third record outcome is negative. If my outcome is negative, what I will do? If my outcome is negative, what I will do? If my outcome is negative, I will update my G value, most generic hypothesis. So what I will do, how G value will be updated? Please observe this carefully. This is an important step, my dear friends. What I am going to update? I am going to update G1. So let me call it as G2. Right? Now, in order to update G1 to G2, because the record is outcome is a negative example, the third record is an example of negative example, outcome is no, I am going to update my most generic hypothesis. When I update my most generic hypothesis, what is the rule? How to update my most generic hypothesis? Please observe this point carefully. This is very, very important. What should I do is, to update my most generic hypothesis, I need to compare. To update my most generic hypothesis, I need to compare. Yeah. To update my most generic hypothesis, I need to compare my negative example with my most specific hypothesis. What is my most specific hypothesis? S3, updated one. I need to compare this S3 with this negative example, and based on that comparison, the G2 will be updated. So what I will do, I will see what is the first parameter value in S3, sunny. What is the first parameter value in negative example, rainy, right? So what I will do is sunny and rainy. When it is sunny, it means positive outcome we were getting. But rainy, what happened when it was rainy? It was giving me a negative outcome. So what I will do is, whenever there is a mismatch like this, sunny and rainy, it is not matching. So what I will do is, I will write like this. Please observe, my dear friends. I'll write like this: sunny, comma, total how many parameters we have? 6, right? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. So friends, please observe what I have done. Please observe what I have done. I have compared the first parameter of my most specific hypothesis. Its value is sunny. I compared it with the first parameter value of my negative example. They were matching or not matching? They were not matching. If there is a mismatch, then what I should do is I should take the first parameter value from my most specific hypothesis, not from the negative example. So I have taken sunny, and I should write like this. I should write like this: sunny, comma, all remaining 5 question marks. So this is one hypothesis. This is one hypothesis. Leave it. Now I will compare second parameter. What is the second parameter? Warm. Its value is warm in most specific hypothesis. Now compare second parameter value in the negative example. Cold. Cold and warm. Are they matching? No, they are not matching. So what should I do? I should create another hypothesis in which second parameter is warm. All remaining parameters are question marks. I was comparing second parameter. So first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth are question marks. Second parameter I have compared. Value in S3 was warm. Value in negative example was cold. So I should write the value of S3, and I have written something like this. So multiple hypotheses I am getting now. Now what I will do, I'll compare third parameter of S3 with my negative example. Third parameter is already a question mark, so I need not compare. It will be a question mark only, so I will ignore it. Go to fourth parameter in S3, it is written as strong. Go to fourth parameter in the negative example, it is also written as strong. It is also written as strong. So strong and strong, there is a match, no problem. If there is a match, no problem. If there is a question mark in the most specific hypothesis, no problem. You need not do anything. So when you find question mark in the most specific hypothesis, you need not do anything. See the fourth parameter, strong and strong. There is a match. So no, don't do anything. Leave it. Fifth parameter, warm. Fifth parameter, warm. Right? Fifth parameter is warm. So what should I do? Both are same. Leave it. Now come to the sixth parameter. What is the sixth parameter? Question mark. Right? Now what is the sixth parameter here? Change. When there is a question mark in most specific hypothesis, right? When there is a question mark in most specific hypothesis, you need not do anything. Question mark should be retained. Now see here, I got two more hypotheses like this. Two more hypotheses. Now this is my updated most generic hypothesis. In G1 I had all question marks, whereas in G2 I got two hypotheses based on this negative example. So 3 rows completed. Now I should go to 4th row, 5th row. This process has to be repeated on all records. Go to 4th record. What is 4th record? It is an example of positive example. Yes, means positive example. If it is a positive example, what will be updated? S3 will be updated to S4. S3 will be updated to S4. Right now, how I will update most specific hypothesis? Compare sunny and sunny matching. So no issue, no problem. Second one, warm. Third was in S3 also it is warm. As it is, I'll write, no problem. Third parameter is question mark. As it is, I'll write. Fourth parameter is strong. Here also strong. I'll write it as it is. Fifth parameter. See the fifth parameter. In S3 it is warm. In my fourth example it is cool. Cool and warm. Then I should put a question mark. Right? Then last parameter, there is a question mark. After warm, there is a question mark in the sixth parameter. Here it is change. whatever it is. I have a question mark in my S3, question mark will be retained. So friends, this is my latest updated S4 and G2. 4 records completed. I don't have any more records. So how many hypotheses I got? This is only a single hypothesis, S4, which is most specific, and under most generic I got 2 possible hypotheses, right? This one and second one. Now if you carefully observe, by looking at S4 and G2, we can create few more examples, or few more hypotheses can be derived, right? What is that? See here, I can write something like this. Sunny, I'm trying to create new hypothesis, right? What is that? Warm, comma, question mark, comma, right? Look at S4, sir. In S4, I have sunny, warm, question mark, strong, comma, 2 question marks. Now, by looking at my G2, I can use as question mark also in place of strong, followed by 2 more question marks. So, this is one possible hypothesis. Similarly, I can write like this: question mark, comma, warm, comma, question mark, comma, strong, comma, question mark, comma, question mark. So what I am doing, sir, I am modifying from S4, I am trying to create multiple combinations. How can I create multiple combinations? Because G2 is allowing me to do so. Suppose sunny, warm and strong. In S4 I have 3 values: sunny, warm, strong. Remaining 3 are question marks. So from S4 I can derive something like this: sunny, warm, question mark. Instead of strong, I can write a question mark also, because most generic solution allows a question mark here. So this will become one more hypothesis. Similarly, warm and strong I will retain. First sunny is there, no? I'll try to replace sunny with a question mark. Sir, how can you do it? See, by looking at this most generic hypothesis, I can replace sunny with a question mark. Similarly, one more combination I will get. What is that? Warm and strong, right? Now sunny, comma, question mark, comma, question mark, comma, strong, comma, question mark, question mark. Means if you observe, 3 more combinations are possible, right? Which I have written like this. So this is one hypothesis, right? This is one hypothesis. This is one hypothesis. This is one hypothesis. Right? These 2 are hypotheses. So if you observe, multiple hypotheses we got, right, in this particular example, right? Friends, what we need is, we need something called as convergence, right? I hope this example is clear, right? Is it clear? Is it clear? Please let me know, so that we will move to the next word, convergence. Fine, multiple hypotheses we got, right? This collection of hypotheses which we got in the result, it is called as version space. Version space, this is important word. So candidate elimination algorithm will give you version space. Version space is nothing but all possible hypotheses for a given concept, or for a given concept learning problem. So till this point, is it clear? Is the example clear to everyone? Please let me know. Explain again. Yeah. Please listen carefully. See, I have 4 records. 4 records. In that, this is my outcome. Outcome means what? My friend will go for enjoying a water sport based on some conditions, right? What are the conditions? There are 6 parameters: sky, air temperature, humidity, wind, water, forecast. Based on these 6 parameters, based on the values of these 6 parameters, my friend will decide whether he will go for a water sport or not. So under which conditions he will go for water sport, under which conditions he will not go for water sport. Further, there are some examples available. So first record says when the sky is sunny, when the air temperature is warm, when the humidity is normal, wind is strong, water is warm, and forecast is same, my friend will go for a water sport. So yes means positive example. Like that, I have 4 examples, and in which 3 are positive examples, 1 is a negative example. Now what is my job? What I'm supposed to do in candidate elimination algorithm? I should see, I should generate a hypothesis. I need a mathematical function. I need a target function or a representation uh, to generalize. To generalize means by applying that mathematical function, I should be able to predict whether my friend will go for a water sport or not. Because see here, I have only 4 examples. But how many such combinations I can get? If you remember, in our previous class, we have calculated 972 plus combinations we can get. Because sunny sky can have 3 different values: sunny, cloudy, rainy. Right? Air temperature has 2 values. Remaining 4 parameters also have got 2 possible values. Like that, if you see the combinations, how many records you will get is 972 records you will get. Now 972 records I don't have with me. I have only 4 records. Now by looking at 4 records, I will try to construct a mathematical function, or I'll try to generate a hypothesis. Based on that hypothesis, I should be able to predict. See, I have only 4 examples. For some remaining conditions also, I should be able to predict whether my friend will go for a water sport or not. Suppose if you ask, sir, in all parameters, like if it is sunny, warm, normal, strong, warm, and same, he was going, right? So like that, if you change the values of all these 6 parameters, you give me a new record, I should be able to tell whether my friend will go for a water sport or not. So that is called as concept learning. By looking at examples, by looking at few examples, we try to construct a hypothesis. And that hypothesis we will apply for predicting the outcomes of remaining records. Got the point? So for that, we are applying candidate elimination algorithm. Now I repeat the algorithm for you. So first, initialize your most specific hypothesis called as S1. Fill all null values there. And most generic means anything is accepted. Generic means all question marks. So for 6 parameters, 6 question marks. For 6 parameters in most specific hypothesis, I am writing 6 null values. Now what should I do in candidate elimination algorithm? I should look at each and every record, whether it is positive example or negative example. If it is a positive example, most specific hypothesis will be updated. If it is a negative example, most generic hypothesis will be updated. So please observe carefully how we are updating our most specific hypothesis and how we are updating our most generic hypothesis. So let me start the algorithm now. See the first example. It's a positive example or not? Yes, it's a positive example. It's a positive example. So what will be updated? Most specific hypothesis should be updated. So what are the values I find in S1? Initially all are null values. So when I visited the first record, I found some values for my 6 parameters. So what I will do is I will replace all null values with the values found in the first record. So that is my latest most specific hypothesis, I call it as S2. So what values I got? Sunny, warm, normal, strong, warm, same. Means from record 1 I copied as it is, because previously all null values were there. So first record I have observed and I updated my most specific hypothesis. Now I'll go to second record. When I go to second record, I'll see what kind of example it is. It is positive example or negative example. Output is yes. So it's a positive example. If it is a positive example, what will be updated? Most specific hypothesis will be updated. So what is the latest most specific hypothesis? S2 is the latest most specific hypothesis. Now I need to update S2, means I'll get S3. So how do I update S2? Right? How I will fill this one? See here. I'll write once again for you. In the second record, what is the value of first parameter? Sunny. What is the existing value in S2? Sunny. I'll write Sunny as it is. Right? Which record we are observing now? First record completed. We are observing second record. What we are updating? Most specific hypothesis. So compare second record and most specific hypothesis. So Sunny and Sunny matching, so write it as it is. What is the second parameter's value? Warm. What is there in the most specific hypothesis? Warm. So it will remain as it is. Then what is the value of third parameter? High. What is the value in my most specific hypothesis? Normal. Is it matching? No. If there is a match, as it is, you will write. If there is no match, then put a question mark. The rules which we are applying for updating most specific hypothesis are different, and the rules which we are applying for updating most generic hypothesis are different. So procedure to update S value is different. Procedure to update G value will be different, my dear friends. Right? Now compare the fourth parameter. I was looking which record? Second record. In second record, what is fourth parameter? Strong. What is fourth parameter in my most specific hypothesis? Strong. Matching. Both are matching. So I don't have a problem. I'll write it as it is. Then what is the value of fifth parameter? Warm. What is the value in the hypothesis? Warm. Sixth parameter, change. Second record, sixth parameter, change. What is there in my most specific hypothesis? Same. Means it's a mismatch. When it is a mismatch, put a question mark. Now this is what happened to my most specific hypothesis. This is latest most specific hypothesis when I was looking at record 2. So 2 records completed. Now I should go to third record. What is there in third record? It's a negative example. Negative example means what will be updated? G1 should be updated, which contains all question marks. So when I update G1, I'll get G2. Right? G1, G2, everything is most generic hypothesis only. Just to tell you that in the next step, this is the value. I am writing G1, G2 like that. So when I update most generic hypothesis, what should I do is, please observe, when we are looking at third record, most specific hypothesis is S3 only. S4 is not yet computed. S4 will come when you visit fourth record. So as of now, S4 is not there. Right? So this is my latest most specific hypothesis S3, and I am updating my G2. I am updating my most generic hypothesis. What is the procedure? First look at the first parameter in the third record. It's a negative example. So what is the value? Rainy. Now in the most specific example, what is the value? Sunny. There is a mismatch. When there is a mismatch, you create a new hypothesis. See, this one is the new hypothesis. See here, the one which I have selected is the new hypothesis. Which parameter we were comparing? First parameter. If whenever there is a mismatch, you take the value from the most specific hypothesis. See here, in third record, it is rainy. whereas in most specific hypothesis it is sunny. So I need to pick the value sunny, then fill the remaining all parameters with question marks. So this is one hypothesis which I got. Now compare the second parameter, friends. What is the second parameter? Second parameter in record 3 is cold, and second parameter in most specific hypothesis is warm. So what should I do? Since I am comparing second parameter there is a mismatch, then write the value from the most specific hypothesis warm, fill the remaining positions with question marks. This is means multiple hypotheses you get whenever you try to update G value. Now compare the third parameter. Third parameter is a question mark, so no updations, nothing will be done. Fourth parameter is strong. What is fourth parameter value in record 3? Strong. So if there is a match, no issue, leave it. Go to fifth parameter, warm. Warm and warm. There is a match, leave it. Go to sixth parameter, there is a question mark in S3. There is changes the value in record 3. But whenever you find question mark in most specific hypothesis, you need not update anything. So if you find a question mark in most specific hypothesis, you ignore it. When you find a match between most specific hypothesis and your negative example, if there's a match also, you will not do anything. You will only update, you will only write new hypothesis, new generic hypothesis if they are not question marks and they are not matching. See here, rainy and sunny were not matching in first parameter. Similarly, cold and warm were not matching in second parameter. So when I compare record 3 with my S3, how many mismatches I found? 2 mismatches. If I find 2 mismatches, 2 new generic hypotheses will come. 2 new generic hypotheses will come. So this is what I have done when I find a negative example. Then what I will do? Okay, this record is done. So I'll go to fourth record. What is fourth record? It is a positive example. If it is a positive example, what will happen? Update your most specific hypothesis. How do you update most specific hypothesis? For a moment. Right. So what is my S4? So how I have updated? Now compare this existing most specific hypothesis with your fourth record. Sunny and sunny, matching, no issue. Warm and warm, matching, no issue. Retain the values. Question mark and high. Question mark has more priority. Put question mark as it is. Strong and strong. Strong and strong, matching. Write it as it is. Warm and warm. See here, warm is the fifth parameter. Warm is the fifth parameter. Where is this one? Fifth parameter is warm. Now in the fourth example, see the fifth parameter, it is cool. Warm and cool, it's not matching. So when there is a mismatch, while updating specific hypothesis, if there is a mismatch, put a question mark. Similarly, sixth parameter, I already have a question mark. Now irrespective of this value, question mark will be retained, right? So this is what is my S4. 4 records I have. I don't have fifth record, so my process of updating most specific hypothesis and most generic hypothesis, that process of updating is closed. Now what I need to do is, once this process is completed, I need to observe my most specific hypothesis, which is S4, and my most generic hypothesis, which is G2. I need to observe them carefully, and I'll try to see, is there any possibility of creating or deriving? Is there any possibility of deriving few more hypotheses? And that's what we have done in our last step. See here. So sunny, warm, all question marks. Why I got this hypothesis? See here in S4, I have sunny, warm, question mark, strong, followed by 2 question marks. But if I look at G2, I have one hypothesis which says, if the first parameter value is sunny, the remaining all can be question marks. So what I have done, sunny, warm I have retained, Remaining 4 question marks I have written. Means I can say that if this strong is also replaced with question mark, that is also is one possible hypothesis. Similarly, warm and strong were retained. Sunny was replaced with a question mark. You may ask, sir, how is it possible? See my G2. The second hypothesis in G2, it says if warm is the value of second parameter, remaining can be question marks. So what I have done, warm and strong I retained, I modified my sunny as question mark. Now finally, right, what I have done, warm I have removed, sunny and strong I have retained, filled question marks in remaining places. So like that, 3 plus 3, total 6 different hypotheses I got. 6 different possible hypotheses we have derived using candidate elimination algorithm. Right? Now is it clear? 15, not only 15, I am asking to everyone. Is it clear now? Please let me know. 515. Right. Now, one important point we will discuss, friends. I want everyone to pay attention. Convergence. This is an important word, my dear friends, and we will be using this word more often when we discuss neural networks also. So what do you mean by convergence? What do you mean by convergence? Right? Any idea? Anybody? Any idea what is convergence? Any idea what is convergence? General meaning of convergence? General meaning of convergence. No. Common point, yeah. True, true. Good, good. So friends, convergence means, for example, I just wanted you people, let us say you people like you third year students wanted to go for a what we say 2 weeks tour. Let us say you wanted to go for industrial tour, you want to go to some place, and what we have done is we asked CRs to come up with some idea. So means for 2 weeks, what will be the plan, what will be the budget, and how much every student has to bear. Right, like that, let us assume 4 sections we have. So 4 CRs, we have requested 4 CRs to come up with a 2 week plan, 2 week industrial visit plan, wherein our students will have a trip for 2 weeks. Now friends, it so happened like 4 CRs came up with 4 different plans. Now tell me, can I plan a common industrial visit? It's not possible, right? So what I need to do, I need to pick the best possible industrial plan for my students, right, which will fit their budget, right, and it should be comfortable in all aspects. So for that, what I will do, I'll not select any one of those 4 solutions. If out of 4 solutions or 4 ideas, if really only one idea is good, I'll try to pick that. Or if I think that in every idea bought by 4 different CRs, there are certain good points and bad points. So what I will do, from all those 4 ideas, right, I'll try to pick all good points and I'll try to create a common plan for your industrial visit. So when these 4 people who have got some differences in their opinions, if I can bring them together to a common point, that is called as convergence. Now, why convergence word is important, right? In our machine learning, why it is important? In machine learning, we don't have a fixed logic or formula to solve problems. If you remember, we use machine learning for non-deterministic problems only, right? So friends, obviously there will be some issues with respect to the performance and accuracy of these machine learning applications. For example, my expected output is 18.9 for a problem. Let us say I am trying to solve certain problem. My expected output is 18.9 and my machine learning algorithm is showing me some 17 as the output. 17 is the generated output, expected is 18.9. So what I will do, I'll make some changes in my model, right? So that this gap between expected output and actual output should be reduced. The error between expected value, and if there is a difference between expected output and actual output, it is called as error, right? So there is a gap between my expected output and actual output. With the process of reducing this gap, the process of ensuring that all these what we said, there is no error, right? That is called as convergence. Now if you observe in candidate elimination algorithm, how many hypotheses we got 6 hypotheses, means 6 mathematical functions or 6 logics or 6 formulas I got to predict whether my friend will go for a water sport or not. Now you may ask, sir, how can I depend on 6 different hypotheses? There should be only one hypothesis. No, why we have 6 hypotheses, right? I'll tell you. I'll give you another example. I'll try to make things more clear. I'll give you one more example. So here we don't know the outcome, friends. This is the testing part. Like here I'll write cloudy. This is warm. This is low. This is strong. This is cool, and this is same. Now, if these are the parameters of my, these are the values of my 6 parameters, you tell me whether my friend will go for enjoying a water sport or not. So what is the output in this case? For these kind of predictions only we are creating hypothesis. Now why convergence is important is, suppose if I ask you, if these are the values of 6 parameters, tell me whether my friend will go for enjoying water sport or not. Tell me whether the output is yes or no. In order to answer this question, you have to use this hypothesis. Now obviously you will ask me, sir, if there is only one formula, we would have applied and we got the result, which we would have told you whether it is yes or no. But there are 6 hypotheses. This is hypothesis 1, right? This is hypothesis 2. This is hypothesis 3. This is hypothesis 4. This is hypothesis 5. This is hypothesis 6. Now you will ask a question, sir, when I have 6 different hypotheses, which one I should use? Which one will give me the correct result? How do I know that I should use the first one or last one or second one or third one? How do I deal with 6 different hypotheses? This is what is an important question. So friends, what is convergence means, right? Initially, when I apply candidate elimination algorithm, I might have got 6 solutions, but over a period of time, right, when I increase my training data, in our example we had, in our previous example, we had only 4 records. Training examples were only 4. Over a period of time, when I increase my training data, right, the number of hypotheses will converge. Converge means when I repeat this process, we have seen, no, we have visited record 1, record 2, record 3, record 4. When we continue this process of updating the hypothesis, when we get new training examples, slowly it will converge. Converge means initially we may have 6 hypotheses, but over a period of time, right, with more and more training, finally we will get one perfect hypothesis, which will be the most accurate solution to that particular problem. So convergence means reaching to a common point or reaching to a most accurate hypothesis. That is called as convergence. Is the word convergence clear to everyone? Please let me know. Is the word convergence clear to everyone? Please let me know. M naught. See here, there was one point made by M naught. I don't know the name. Mathematically, when two or more lines meet at the same point, then they are convergent. Yes, absolutely. Now, same thing we are also telling. Like, suppose if you represent my expected value and actual value as two lines, at some point they have to meet. When they meet, then we say there is no error, right? I'll just show you that. That's not a problem. I'll just show you. Insert chart. Insert chart. I'll show you a line graph. Just observe this. This is a very good point which you have asked. See here. I'm trying to represent my output. Please see this table, right? Expected output, actual output. If there is a difference between expected output and actual, I'm trying to just draw them as lines, right? Then you can straight away visualize the difference. There is an error. Now suppose let me call it as 4.3. Let us say I got 4.1. This is 2.5. I got 2.43. Then this is 3.5. Let me make it 3.44. 4.5. I make it 4.5. Now see the difference. Expected output, actual output. Convergence means, see, they should meet at certain point. See here in the last record, it is 4.5, 4.5. Means, see, my expected output, convergence. They meet at a point. If they meet, it means, okay, my algorithm is doing well. My hypothesis is doing well. But see here, 4.3, 4.1, this is the difference. This is the difference, right? So what you told is correct, M naught. Our whatever observations are there, same observations can be represented in the form of a line also. So my expected output, actual output can be represented as two lines, and if they meet at one point, it is convergence, right? Meghana, right? Very good point made by you. And in neural networks, we will definitely talk more about convergence, right? So before we wind up, I wanted to talk to you people, right? Those who are available on the call. And in fact, I wanted to share three important things with everyone, right? Three important things with everyone. Kiran sir is also joining us in the call, right? Kiran sir has joined us now. Kiran sir looks after all placement activities of the department. Now, three important points I wanted to share with you. First important point is regarding internships, right? You might have seen lot of internship opportunities are there, and each and every opportunity is being posted by Kiran sir in our group, right? But the number of people who have registered for the internships is very less, right? So internship is a very important thing, and as per AICTE norms, it is mandate. It's mandatory, my dear friends. It's compulsory that you should do internship, right? So there is no question of any excuse, right? And we are not forcing you to do a 6 months internship. Your internship can be for 3 months, or it can be 3 weeks or 4 weeks. It can be 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. We don't mind, but you have to do one internship that is compulsory. Kiran sir,
Sir,
yeah,
sir. Good afternoon, sir.
sir.
Good afternoon,
Any point you
everyone.
wanted to share?
Yes, sir. So one thing here, I have less registered students. I don't know why. Yeah. For R18, as Sir is telling, R18 it is mandatory, Amma. It is mandatory. Can you able to hear me?
Yes, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So it is mandatory. Why that low registrations? Already we have discussed